Yo, what's up, guys? Today, I'm going to be going over some pick techniques. Real fun, interesting stuff. Um, Specifically, alternate picking, which is just down, up, down, up, down, up, just up and down, real just kind of like karate chopping, just like if you're familiar with Suffocation, Frank Mullen, the death chop, that's what you want right there. Um, if you're not familiar, look them up. Definitely pretty sick. But alternate picking is a death metal staple, thrash metal staple, grindcore staple. It really helps with faster, um, playing. Like those genres typically call for. So I'll shut up and show you. So again, down, up, down, up, down, up. When we're gonna start here on the fifth fret. And that's doing it with a chord, but then you can also do it with an individual string. So like, and that's just like a real simple little thing, But even just something like that, just changing your finger positions here and there will kind of spice an otherwise monotonous thing up. But yeah, alternate picking is um, something every guitarist should have in their arsenal. It definitely will make your life a lot easier. um, So to kind of apply that to your playing though, like if you're making a riff, say you start off with a couple chords, like say we're starting on the fifth, sixth, second, say we have those be chords for the whole idea or whatever the case may be for you. So in this case, this is all in drop G, but if you were to play it on a standard tuning, it would be a power chord. So if I played on my six strings, this would be in D standard. So for those of you playing along with the six string, we did tune down to D standard. Just stay where you're at. It really doesn't matter for our purposes right now. But anyways, so we have these. What you can do from there is kind of build up, different little noodles and little leads and little melodies and such. So but like having kind of a home for that and then alternate picking those and then alternate picking, because I'm just kind of going on the fly here, but alternate picking is going to help kind of tie all of your ideas together is the point here. And again, we want to be real relaxed with that right hand or left hand if you're, a weirdo, but if it feels like you're tightening up, stop, knock it off. You want to everything needs to be relaxed, because with it being heavy music, the initial thought is, yeah, I need to be brutal, I need to be heavy-handed, death grip on everything. No, that's not what we're doing. You got to be really relaxed. You got to be like Bruce Lee, formless like water. It's one of those things though, like practicing with the metronome, that's going to be your best friend. My recommendation if you're going to play around with alternate picking is to start off slow. Here in a little bit, I'm going to give you an example from some drums I programmed. I thought this time doing programmed drums was a better idea, but we're going to do some alternate picking, and then I'll actually link the drums in the description for you to jam along and stuff. But there's lots of room for slower alternate picking, which would be, because again, we're just going down, up, down, three blind lies. That was a down pitch. And then if you wanted to tie that into something like throw in those palm mutes that I was talking about from before. And I watched that video the other night, and for clarification, palm muting, this is the palm that we're using to mute the strings. And we're putting it on the bridge of our guitar. This Ibanez is very dark, but you barely want to be really on those strings. You can choke up a little bit on it if you want to for a little bit of a more thumpy sound. You know, you don't want to dig into it because it's going to detune your guitar. But if you kind of choke up a little bit, go a little bit further towards the neck, you can. And it produces a different result. But I originally had that recording. It did not make it into the recording for some reason, and that completely defeats the purpose of it being a lesson because there was nothing really taught. I was just like, hey, here's some cool riffs, which is kind of dumb. But anyways, alternate picking. It's your best friend. It's actually probably the technique that most guitarists are going to use the most, unless you're, James Hetfield, which on record he probably does a lot of down picking, and live I'm sure it's mostly alternate picking. But yeah, it's your best friend, because like you got anywhere from like death metal riffs to like black metal riffs using it. Just having those real big chords with that alternate picking, you can't get that speed without it. I mean, you can, I guess, if you're a friggin' machine, but even just like new metal, those dudes. That was Pantera probably right there. But the point is, yeah, you're gonna use it, and it's the best tool you can have. And then it really helps, with cross string picking, where you go over one of the other strings to get a pick, or if you wanted to skip a lot of strings, because it's a ergonomical kind of thing to do. There is ergonomical picking, which like that is just going through the strings. And that's something that I think is kind of intuitive when you learn alternate picking, because it makes more sense if you're going to go down to the next string to keep your picking hand going down, than to come up on it, because that's a weird motion, right? Or it's a economy picking, not ergonomic picking, but it is more ergonomic to play with economy picking. But yeah, it's one of those things that as you build up, it's just going to get better and better, and it's going to make everything else easier. Anyways, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to pull up this drum track. We're going to go over this. Again, it's going to be linked in the description on the bottom, as well as all my other stuff. If you found any of this helpful, feel free to like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that cool stuff. I'm going to stop being as weird. Hopefully, I'm going to get better at this. And if I don't, I'm going to keep doing it because, I really want to just show people all the cool things that metal can really teach you as a guitarist. I think that metal is kind of an overlooked genre overall. More so nowadays. It's gotten a little bit less of that, but anyways, it's gotten to be a little bit less than that. But anyways, here's some drums, and we're gonna go over all these little techniques and stuff today here. kind of using all those techniques. I like to really push on the fact that practicing the drums is a way cooler, way more fun experience when you're trying out these techniques. And the cool thing about this too, man, I write a lot of my songs like this. I'll just sit down with some drums and just kind of jam and just like, oh wow, that was a cool riff, and then like I figure out kind of what key it was in and stuff like that. Because a lot of the time I'm just playing with feeling. Obviously some of that stuff was atonal. It wasn't the most like key conscious, but that's not what we're after right now. Leave that stuff for the writing table. When you're practicing, you can practice, your ear training and all that, and that kind of comes with it because you're kind of listening for the thing that's going to make sense, and your muscle memory is going to kind of kick in here and there. I'm not always kind of super conscious of what I'm playing, clearly. I'm kind of letting my body do the work, because at some point that's kind of where you want it to be. You want it to be kind of synchronicity between yourself and the guitar. And, I've only been playing for, like 17 years, I think now. And I'm still learning stuff, and that's why that's why I'm here. I want to help others kind of keep learning as well. But yeah, if you found this informative, if you want to take lessons, let me know. Again, hit the bell, do all that stuff, and I'll be seeing you.